All right, folks, gather round. Tonight, we're diving into a tale of political intrigue, questionable gifts, and a $400,000 thank you note that would make even the greediest wedding guest blush. Singapore, a nation known for its squeaky clean image, recently found itself in the spotlight when its former transport minister, Iswaran, was caught with his hand in the proverbial cookie jar. Iswaran, a man who pulled in a cool $1 million a year, apparently couldn't resist the allure of some extra goodies. We're talking luxury accommodations, fancy dinners and gifts that would make your average birthday present look like a crumpled napkin. Now, you might be thinking, John, $1 million a year? That's a lot of dough. And you'd be right. But apparently for some folks, enough is never enough. Iswaran's case has left many scratching their heads. Why would someone earning a king's ransom risk it all for a few shiny trinkets and a free vacation? It's enough to make you wonder if someone slipped something funny into Singapore's drinking water. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. This scandal has definitely put a dent in Singapore's pristine reputation. So, what's the deal with Iswaran? Was he just a greedy Gus who couldn't resist a freebie? Or is there something more to this story? Now, I'm not a mind reader, despite what my producers might tell you. But let's try to get inside the head of a man who seemingly had it all. Maybe it was the thrill of the forbidden, the allure of something he wasn't supposed to have. Or perhaps it was a sense of entitlement, a belief that the rules didn't apply to someone of his stature. Whatever the reason, Iswaran's actions paint a troubling picture of power, greed, and a blatant disregard for the public trust. It's a tale as old as time, folks. Give someone a little bit of power and suddenly they think they're above the law. Now let's talk punishment. Iswaran, for his transgressions, was sentenced to a whole year in prison. A year! That's like 2 seasons of the Great British Baking Show. Some folks might say, hey, a year's a year. That's got a sting. But let's be real, folks. For a man used to a life of luxury and privilege, a year in the slammer is probably going to feel more like an extended stay at a slightly less fancy hotel. Is that really enough to deter future corruption? Or does it just send the message that the rich and powerful can get away with anything? It's enough to make you wonder if the scales of justice are weighted differently depending on the size of your bank account. The price of public service, Singapore's Ministerial Paychecks. Hold on to your monocles, folks, because we're about to talk about money. Big money, as in the kind of money that makes your eyes water and your head spin. See, Singapore's government ministers are among the highest paid in the world. We're talking 7-figure salaries, folks. That's more than most of us will see in a lifetime, and it's all funded by taxpayers. The logic, apparently, is that these hefty paychecks are supposed to prevent corruption. Because, you know, nothing says I'm incorruptible like a salary that could make a Wall Street banker blush, but here's the thing. Does throwing money at a problem actually solve it, or does it just create a culture of entitlement and greed? Golden handcuffs or golden opportunity do high salaries deter corruption? So let's get down to brass tacks. Do these astronomical salaries actually prevent corruption? Or are they just a fancy way of putting lipstick on a pig? Proponents of these high salaries argue that they attract the best and brightest minds to public service. They say it's about attracting top talent like you'd find in the private sector. But let's be real, folks. If someone's motivated purely by money, are they really the kind of person we want running our country? Government service shouldn't be about lining your pockets. It should be about serving the people. It's about making a difference in the world. It's about, well, you get the idea. Serving the people or serving oneself, the erosion of public trust. When those in power start seeing their positions as personal piggy banks, it erodes the very fabric of our society. People lose faith in their leaders. They become cynical and disillusioned. And who can blame them? When you see politicians raking in millions while ordinary folks are struggling to make ends meet, it's hard not to feel like the system is rigged against you. This isn't just a Singapore problem, folks. It's a global epidemic. From the halls of Congress to the back rooms of City Hall, it seems like greed and corruption have become the norm. A parting shot, food for thought. So, we're left with a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. Iswaran's case is just a symptom of a much larger problem. A problem that goes to the very heart of what it means to be a public servant. Maybe it's time we start asking ourselves some tough questions. What is the purpose of government? Who does it serve? And are we, the people, getting what we deserve?